Here we will look at the questions from the chapter on unemployment. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS, is responsible for calculating the unemployment rate for the US economy. Here is a data of unemployment rate for the past 10 years. It peaked around April 2020 and then it gradually went down. And I have data till February 2025 when it was 4.1%. Now, this question, the first one, is asking about the labor force. The labor force is the number of people employed plus the number of people unemployed. To be employed, you have to be working either part time or full time. And unemployed is not working but actively looking for a job or jobs. From here, the number of people employed is 95, number of people unemployed is 7. That brings it to 102. Okay, moving on to question number 2 is asking for the unemployment rate. This is the formula for unemployment rate. Unemployed over employed plus unemployed times 100. From our data here, unemployed is 10, employed plus unemployed, that means the labor force is 110 plus 10, and this we multiply times 100. Our answer is approximately 8.33%. So, question 2, this is our answer. Question 3, it says Gaurav voluntarily quits a job as an insurance agent to return to school full time to earn an MBA degree. Now she has a degree and she's looking for the right kind of job. This type of wait and search unemployment is called frictional unemployment, or she is frictionally unemployed. Okay, question number 4. According to BLS, or Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have to be officially unemployed. A person must do what? This one. Not only they want a job, but they are actively seeking for work. Question 5, the natural rate of unemployment, and that's also called full employment. Full employment does not mean unemployment is equal to 0. Natural rate of unemployment is the frictional plus the structural unemployment. Basically, the cyclical unemployment is 0%. And this is possible when economy is at its potential output or the maximum possible gross domestic product, or this is also called the full employment GDP. So, question 5, our answer is C. Now, moving on to question 6, it says Alex works in his home as a homemaker and takes care of his children full time. He is not looking for job and not working. I mean, he's working at home taking care of his children, but these are his children and he's not getting paid for that, even though how hard it is to take care of kids. Alex is not in the labor force. Okay. Moving on to question number 7. It says unemployment rate is 9% and natural rate of unemployment is 5%. Natural rate of unemployment is the frictional as well as the structural unemployment. That's 5%. And we have the actual unemployment rate, that's 9%. The actual unemployment rate is the frictional as well as the structural as well as the cyclical unemployment rate, that adds up to 9%. So if we subtract one from the other, we would end up with a cyclical unemployment rate of 4%. Question 8. Discouraged workers. These were the people who were unemployed before. They could not find a job. They were so discouraged or disheartened, they stopped looking for jobs altogether. And they are not calculated in the unemployment rate calculation by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And that's one of the criticisms in the calculation of unemployment rate. So, the presence of discouraged workers may cause the official unemployment rate to understate the true amount of unemployment. This is C. Okay, part time workers who want full time work are calculated as fully employed, and this would overstate the level of unemployment or understate the level of unemployment. So, what's our answer? Is this one. They're calculated as fully employed just for the sake of convenience, ease of calculation, and this is going to understate the level of unemployment. That's our answer. Question number 10. Susie lost her job because of import competition. Now she needs to update herself by taking a short course in electronics. This type of unemployment is calculated, or this is called structural unemployment. Question 11. We have 5 million unemployed workers looking for jobs. After a period of time, 1 million became discouraged over the job prospects and stopped looking for work. So, what happens to the official unemployment rate? Okay, so this one will decline because discouraged workers are not calculated as part of the unemployed workforce. Moving on to question 12. This is my formula here. GDP gap is actual GDP minus potential gross domestic product. The GDP gap is negative 30. The actual is 700. And this is what we need to find out. Let's say this is X. That's the potential gross domestic product. So this one is 700 plus 30. That's 730. This is my answer. I will go over question 13 using some numbers. Let's say the frictional unemployment is 5%, the structural is 3%, and cyclical is 2%. This is 5% and this is 3%. This adds to 10% and this adds to 8%. Here, this is the actual unemployment rate, and this is the natural rate of unemployment. So, if the actual unemployment rate is greater than the natural rate of unemployment, what happens? Here, my cyclical unemployment is positive 2%. According to Okun's law, the GDP gap is gonna be equal to negative 4%. The GDP gap, this is the difference between actual and potential gross domestic product. So I wrote down the formula before. From that we subtract potential GDP. Potential GDP is 100%, or 100% output is produced in an economy. The actual GDP is going to be 96%. So when actual is less than potential GDP, the actual unemployment rate would be greater than the natural rate of unemployment. Now, this one adds up to 160. This is the number of people who are in the labor force, and number of people who are not in the labor force is 185. From that we subtract 160. So this one is 25. But the question is asking the percentage of adults who are not in the labor force. So to find out the percentage of people who are not in the labor force, we would do this. People who are not in the labor force over the adult population of 185 multiplied times 100, you get an approximate value of 13.51%. Our answer is C. Now moving on to question number 15. This one says the natural rate of unemployment, that is 6%, and the current unemployment rate is 12%. The current or actual is the frictional and structural and cyclical. The natural rate only includes the frictional and structural unemployment. So the cyclical unemployment is 6%. According to Okun's law, if the cyclical is 6%, the GDP gap is gonna be negative 12%. Definitely, cyclical unemployment, that's not a good thing. Okay. Now, the next thing we do is we try to find out the amount of output that's lost. The potential GDP was 4,000. The output lost is going to be 12%, or 12 over 100 times 4,000. This is 480 billion. $480 billion. So this is A. Now question 8. Unemployment involving workers whose skills and experiences have become obsolete or unneeded. This one is a structural unemployment. Also, structural unemployment also involves a geographical mismatch between unemployed workers or job openings. Basically, your jobs have moved overseas and you are structurally unemployed. Thank you very much.